Welcome back to another video on the channel, and I guess another episode if you are listening on the podcast version. But today we're going to be going over my first round draft grades. The draft just happened on Thursday, a couple days ago. I wasn't able to watch it. I was at work, but um, you know, I have mixed feelings about the Lions draft, and I have some pretty good. I feel like the Raiders draft was pretty good. And then I did miss the second round due to a school event. So I mean, I like the Lions there in the second round. They have some pretty good picks, but I will only just be talking about the first round here, just to not make it like a whole hour long episode. So with the first pick, the Carolina Panthers obviously selected Bryce Young out of Alabama, and I'm going to have to give this one an elite pick. I think obviously he's the best quarterback on the board. By moving up to number 1 overall, Carolina was able to land their franchise quarterback. Despite concerns about his size, Young was the top quarterback on the PFF Big Board, and over the previous 2 seasons, he had the biggest passing grade of any player at the position. And then with the second pick, the Houston Texans selected C.J. Stroud out of Ohio State. And for this pick, I'm going to have to give it a very good ranking. The Texans choose the second-ranked quarterback on the PFF Big Board, defying widespread expectations that they would pass on a quarterback. Stroud was the 7th highest graded player at the position this past season with a 92.2 PFF grade in 2021, tied with Bryce Young. Take that off. Okay. And then with the third pick, the Houston Texans traded with the Arizona Cardinals to get that third pick, and they selected edge Will Anderson Jr. coming out of Alabama. And I'm going to have to give this one a good pick. If I can find one. There it is. I'm going to have to get that one a good ranking. To everyone's surprise, the Texans choose the top edge defender on the PFF Big Board by moving up to number 3 in 2021 and 2022. Anderson earned PFF grades of 89.8 and 83.6 respectively, while getting 207 pressures throughout the course of the 3 years at Alabama. Houston acquires a star player, but at a high cost. And then at the fourth pick, I have the Indianapolis Colts, and they selected quarterback Anthony Richardson coming out of Florida. I'm going to put this one in the very good ranking. I think that was a very good pick in my opinion. Now the Colts remained at a number 4 and gambled heavily on Richardson's lofty potential. Although he struggled as a passer, he is unquestionably the most athletic quarterback we have ever seen, as evidenced by the 39 missed tackles he forced in 2022. Now with the fifth pick, the Seattle Seahawks selected cornerback Devin Witherspoon coming out of Illinois. I'm going to have to put that one in the very good ranking. Now, surprising everyone, the Seahawks select Witherspoon as the 5th overall pick. The cornerback with the top grade in the Power 5 last year was an Illinois product. He covered those plays in press coverage for 107 snaps, only giving up 1 yard. Now coming in with the 6th pick, the Arizona Cardinals traded with the Detroit Lions to get this one, and they select offensive tackle Paris Johnson Jr. coming out of Ohio State. And I have to put this one at the good tier. The Cardinals picked Paris Johnson Jr. as their left tackle after dropping from number 3 and climbing back up. Physically, he checks all the requirements at 6'6" and 310 pounds. Last season, he had the finest pass blocking performance of his career, allowing just 14 total pressures on 449 pass blocking snaps. This is made even better by Arizona's backroom dealings. Now coming in with the 7th pick, the Las Vegas Raiders selected edge rusher Tyree Wilson coming out of Texas Tech. I'm going to have to put that one in the I'm gonna have to put this one in the below average, I could say. Wilson is expected to be selected in the top 10 since he appears to have been created in a pass rushing laboratory. Despite this, he only placed 28th on the PFF Big Board since his collegiate performance lacked consistency. Last season, he received the highest PFF grade of his career with 75.1. Now coming with the 8th pick, the Atlanta Falcons selected running back Bijan Robinson, coming out of Texas. I'm going to put this one in the average tier. Given how good Bijan Robinson was in 2022, teams would typically receive an average grade for selecting a running back in the top 10. Nevertheless, it's difficult to dislike the selection too much. He set a PFF collegiate record in 2022 with 104 missed tackles forced while weighing in at 220 pounds. This resulted in a PFF grade of 95.3. Now coming with the 9th pick, the Philadelphia Eagles selected defensive lineman Jalen Carter, coming out of Georgia. I'm going to put that one in the elite tier right up there with Bryce Young. The Eagles scored a major victory by selecting the guy ranked number 2 overall on the PFF big board with pick number 9. Carter played 392 times in 2022 and has the highest PFF grade of any interior defender for a Power 5 team with 92.3. 32 total pressures were recorded by him on 273 pass rushing snaps. To make this possible, the Eagles just had to part with a 4th-round pick in 2024. Now coming in with the 10th pick, the Chicago Bears selected offensive tackle Darnell Wright, coming out of Tennessee. And I'm going to have to put this one in the average tier. Now Wright answers a need for the Bears, but the PFF draft board only ranks him as the 22nd best player. He only earned a PFF grade of 71.4 in 2022, but he has had some incredibly strong video clips where he simply dominates opponents. In 2022, he only let in a total of 8 pressures. Now coming in with the 11th pick, the Tennessee Titans selected offensive lineman Peter Skoronski, coming out of Northwestern. I'm going to have to put this pick in the elite tier. I think that one was a really good pick. Whether Skoronski will play tackle or guard at the next level is the major question. But in 2022, he played tackle and had a fantastic season. In 474 pass blocking at snaps as a Northwestern starting left tackle last season, he gave up just 6 total pressures. Now coming in with the 12th pick, the Detroit Lions traded with the Arizona Cardinals, and they selected running back Jahmyr Gibbs, coming out of Alabama. I'm going to put this one in the below average right there with Tyree Wilson. On the PFF big board, Gibbs is the 2nd ranked running back, but he is also the 34th ranked talent overall. This is a massive reach with the 12th overall pick, considered to be a potential late 1st-round selection, but he can have an impact in the passing game as well. Over the last 3 seasons, he has caught 103 passes for 1,215 receiving yards, and as of today, the Detroit Lions did trade away DeAndre Swift to the Eagles, so that will be opening up a spot for him. So it's mainly going to be him and David Montgomery there in that running back room. Definitely interesting dynamic compared to last season's, but yeah, I think overall that one was definitely a reach. They really could have helped out the defense there, but they decided to go with a running back. Now with the 13th selection, the Green Bay Packers got this pick from the Jets in that Aaron Rodgers trade. They selected edge rusher Lucas Van Ness, coming out of Iowa, and I'm going to put this one in the average tier. Now, many believe that this was the place to find a playmaker for quarterback Jordan Love, but the Packers chose Van Ness. He frequently possesses the versatility to kick inside and uses his power to dislodge opposing pass defenses. Now with the 14th pick, the Pittsburgh Steelers got this pick from the New England Patriots. They selected offensive tackle Broderick Jones, coming out of Georgia. And I'm going to have to put this one as an average selection. In order to ensure that they get the offensive tackle they wanted, the Steelers move up 3 positions and forfeit a 4th-round pick. With an 84.1 PFF pass blocking grade and 9 total pressures allowed on 470 pass blocking snaps, Jones made an impression as a pass blocker in 2022. Now coming in with the 15th pick, the New York Jets got this one from Green Bay in that Aaron Rodgers trade. Selected edge rusher Will McDonald, the 4th, coming out of Iowa State. I'm going to have to give this one an average rating. Now in 2022, McDonald had his best season in college and demonstrated amazing lateral quickness, although Sam Monson of PFF rates the Iowa State product as the second best pass rusher in the draft, in this draft class. He was only ranked 29th overall on the PFF Big Board. He made 127 total pressures over his 862 pass rushing snaps throughout his college career. Now coming in with the 16th pick, the Washington Commanders selected cornerback Emmanuel Forbes coming out of Mississippi State. I'm going to have to give this one an average selection. I think it was an okay pick. Forbes, who was placed 26th on PFF's Big Board, had a high level of ball handling prowess in college. He concluded his 3-year career at Mississippi State with 14 interceptions and 17 pass breakups, earning an 87.2 PFF grade. Now coming in with the 17th selection, the New England Patriots, I got this one from the Pittsburgh Steelers, selected cornerback Christian Gonzalez, coming out of Oregon. And let me see. Oh, I might not even have his picture up here. I could have sworn I had his picture. Okay. But his picture isn't up here, but I will put him in the very good tier. So I'll just put that in editing and then be like, yeah, it's here. Because I don't think I can add any. Yeah, I can't add any more images on it. So yeah, I'm just gonna have to. I'll make it in post edit. Just say Christian Gonzalez right here. But I have that one being a very good selection. The second best cornerback on the PFF Big Board is still acquired by the Patriots, even if they drop to 17th overall and add a 4th round pick. Gonzalez, who transferred to Oregon in 2022, had the greatest season of his career, recording 4 interceptions and 6 pass breakups. Gonzalez possesses the size and quickness you want at the position. Now coming in with the 18th pick, the Detroit Lions selected linebacker Jack Campbell, coming out of Iowa, and I'm going to put that one as a below average pick. I thought they would go, I was fine with Jahmyr Gibbs, a running back out of Alabama. Running backs from Alabama don't really disappoint, but I thought, okay, they might be able to get Christian Gonzalez, and then he gets stolen, right? So Jack Campbell, despite ranking just 39th overall, Campbell is the best linebacker according to the PFF Big Board. Although he produced a 91.9 PFF grade, which led all linebackers, it is not a good value pick. He is an outstanding 6'5" and 249 pounds with NFL caliber size and range. Now coming in with the 19th pick, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers selected defensive lineman Khalija Kancey coming out of Pittsburgh. I'm going to have to put that one at the very good tier. Kancey is a fantastic interior pass rusher. Despite his small size, his initial step is exceptional, and he just finished a season in which he ranked number 1 among all players at the position in pass rushing grade. Tampa Bay should notice the Pittsburgh product right away. Now, with the 20th pick, the Seattle Seahawks selected wide receiver Jackson Smith-Njigba coming out of Ohio State, and I have to put that one as an elite ranking there. 2 of the top 10 players on the PFF Big Board are on the Seahawks Round 1 roster. Jackson Smith-Njigba outperformed 2021 first-round draft selections Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson at Ohio State that year on a per-snap basis with a PFF rating of 91.7. Now coming in with the 21st selection, the Los Angeles Chargers select wide receiver Quentin Johnston coming out of TCU. I'm going to have to put that one at the good tier. Again, I swear I had his image, but he's not up here. But yeah, I'm going to put him at the good tier here. The 3rd ranked wide receiver on the PFF Big Board and a man who can make defenders miss in tight spaces are acquired by the Chargers. On just 60 receptions, Johnston forced 19 missed tackles and had a 17.8 yard catch average. During the previous season, he did drop 11.8% of the passable passes that were thrown his way. Now with the 22nd selection, the Baltimore Ravens selected wide receiver Zay Flowers coming out of Boston College. I'm going to give him an average grade here. Flowers is cunning, adept at separating, and a good addition to the Ravens wide receiving group. Flowers may accumulate 500 receiving yards on throws longer than 20 yards downfield in 2022, making up for the product they missed when they parted ways with Hollywood Brown last year. Now, with the 23rd pick, the Minnesota Vikings selected wide receiver Jordan Addison coming out of USC. I'm going to give this one a good ranking here. To complement Justin Jefferson, the Vikings stay put at pick 23 and are rewarded with a great wide receiver. Prior to transferring to USC, Addison won the Biletnikoff Award with Pittsburgh in 2021. Over the course of the previous 2 seasons, he finished with 25 touchdowns from 159 receptions. Now with the 24th pick, the New York Giants, and they got this pick from the Jacksonville Jaguars, and they selected cornerback Deonte Banks coming out of Maryland. I'm going to give this one a very good ranking. Banks, who ranks as the 3rd best cornerback on the PFF Big Board, has excellent speed and ran the 40-yard dash in 4.35 seconds at the Indianapolis NFL Combine. He is a top athlete who has demonstrated in college that he can mimic wide receivers and possesses the frame that teams prefer at the position. In his final season at Maryland, he earned the best PFF grade of his college career. Now with the 25th pick, the Buffalo Bills got this one from the Jacksonville Jaguars, and they selected tight end Dalton Kincaid coming out of Utah, which I thought I had his picture again. Is not here, but I have him in the elite tier. I think it was a really good pick. Kincaid, the best catching tight end available in the draft, is selected by the Bills after a slight jump. For the player ranked 10th overall on the PFF Big Board, this is a fantastic value pick. With a 91.8 PFF receiving grade in 2022, Kincaid led all players at the position and served as the centerpiece of the Utah offense. Now with the 26th pick, the Dallas Cowboys selected defensive lineman Mazi Smith coming out of Michigan, and I'm going to give this one an average grade. Now, it might not be the most exciting choice, but it makes a lot of sense for a team that has recently had trouble reliably stopping the run. Smith's shown exceptional athletic ability for a man of his size, earning PFF ratings of 75 or higher each of the previous 2 seasons. Now with the 27th pick, the Jacksonville Jaguars selected offensive tackle Anton Harrison coming out of Oklahoma, and I'm going to have to give that one a good rating. Now, given the reported suspension for Cam Robinson, this makes a lot of sense. Robinson was the 24th ranked player on the PFF Big Board, so the Jaguars got him at a reasonable position, but gained 3 extra selections by moving down from 447 pass blocking snaps. He only allowed 9 pressures in total in 2022. Now with the 28th pick, the Cincinnati Bengals selected edge rusher Myles Murphy coming out of Clemson. I'm going to have to give this one a very good ranking. Now after producing a 85.2 PFF score during his freshman season, Myles Murphy appeared to be a future top 5 choice, but he didn't advance much after that. Nevertheless, he recorded 76 pressures over the previous 2 seasons and produced a PFF grade of at least 79 in each of the previous 3 seasons. Now with the 29th pick, the New Orleans Saints selected defensive lineman Bryan Bresee coming out of Clemson, and I'm going to give that one an average rating. Bresee is a skilled defensive interior player who recently had a season in which he recorded a career-high 82 PFF pass rushing grade. He's capable of playing in a variety of interior positions and has even had experience playing outside the tackles. So again, you're going to have to give that one an average pick. Now, for the 30th selection, the Philadelphia Eagles selected edge rusher Nolan Smith coming out of Georgia, and I'm going to give that one an elite rating. Now, the Eagles just getting everybody from Georgia apparently, but with the 30th choice in the draft, the Eagles chose the guy that is ranked 13th on the PFF Big Board by signing Smith, who may be undersized at 238 pounds, but is an exceptional athlete and has earned a 90 PFF run defense grade over the past 2 seasons. Philadelphia retools their defensive line once more with top talent. Now with the last pick in the draft, with the 31st selection, the Kansas City Chiefs select edge rusher Felix Enudike Uzoma coming out of Kansas State. I'm going to give this one a good rating. Now, Enudike Uzoma is one of the greatest edge benders in the draft class, with PFF grades of 74 or higher each of the last 2 seasons. Of his 89 pressures over the last 2 seasons, 21 of them led to sacks, making him one of the best players in college football at doing so. And that'll be all for the rankings here. As you can see, a lot of average picks. We got Bijan Robinson, Darnell Wright, Lucas Van Ness, um, you more player, Mozzie Smith, Zay Flowers, Brian Brees. So I think this one was a pretty good draft, surprising, definitely, for sure. CJ Stroud's stock dropped a lot near like right before the draft. Anthony Richardson kind of stayed where he was at. Jalen Carter's stock dropped obviously, but I didn't think it would drop, down to ninth. Like eight other teams passed on him. And he dropped down all the way to the Eagles. That Eagles defensive line is getting younger, which is one point that I do like to emphasize, that the Eagles defensive line is getting a lot older, so they're able to add a little bit more youth to that, and hopefully start a better defensive line here. Kind of like when they had Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham, back both in their prime. Peter Skoronski dropped a little bit. I thought he would go to the Bears. Jackson Smith and Jigba kind of dropped. Nolan Smith was a pretty good pick, a steal in my opinion. Devin Witherspoon went a little bit earlier than I expected, but I think him and Tariq Woolen are going to do some things there. Will Anderson, the Texans made a move to trade up and get him. I think that was a pretty good pick. Add a little bit more to that defensive line. Jordan Addison was a pretty good pick for the Vikings. I think he's going to do some pretty good things there in that Minnesota offense. Bijan Robinson was a little bit of an interesting pick. I thought the Falcons, they have Tyler Algier, and they have Cordell Patterson, but I guess they're looking to move on from most likely Cordell Patterson and move into more of a special teams guy and just continue starting Bijan Robinson. I think that wouldn't be too bad there. Packers adding a defense, more defensive people instead of adding, much needed offense. I think you need more offensive players for Jordan Love, because he's going to be starting his first season, and he's not really going to have too much help since Allen Lazard is gone. So he's going to have Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs, which isn't too bad, but add a little bit more there, or at least an offensive lineman. Mozzie Smith, a great pick for the Cowboys. I think he's going to be pretty good. As a Michigan fan, I've been watching him, and I think he has a lot of potential. So if they're able to use him right, I think that'll work. The same with the Ravens. If they're able to use him right, I think it'll work. They've already shown that they can work with some smaller wide receivers like Marquise Brown. So Zay Flowers, I think, will definitely fill in that position amazing. And then Tyree Wilson, it was a little bit of a reach for the Raiders, and same with Jahmyr Gibbs and this guy over here for the Lions. Okay, I don't even know his name. Okay, that's how much I hated that pick. I didn't even take the time to actually remember his name. So yeah, I'm not sure what they're doing. But those second round picks, Brian Branch and Hendon Hooker, I liked a lot. So I'm not too mad at it. But yeah, definitely an interesting draft. Let me know what you guys think down below. Make sure you go ahead, leave a comment, like, and subscribe. Also share the video with anybody that you think may want to hear this or watch this. So and then if you're on the podcast version, make sure you go ahead and hit that follow button. That'd be greatly appreciated. Also leave the podcast 5-star review. That'd be great. But again, that'll be all, and thank you for watching and listening all the way through.